It was probably Urban Street Jam
Ooh,
2016. I would say 2016 because 2016 I did with only Liz, only with Lavad.
Levad.
Yeah,
Wow.
and you know how Liz is. Liz is like if you're on your shit, like we don't. First of all, it was exhibition, right?
Yeah.
It was like Lavad was exhibition. My other teams I did was competition, and Liz is usually like if I mean we're gonna be on our shit the day before, a week before, and you know how her last rehearsal before performance goes. That's how you know that we're ready a week before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we had some of them had gotten a room next to the what is it the Anaheim Convention Center next to downtown Disney, and so majority of the time it was just spent like, all right, we're here, we're gonna go get our bracelets, everybody go do whatever it is that you guys want, and we're just gonna meet up at this time, and we're gonna go on, and we're gonna go home. And I'm like, that's it, really? Because like if you're competing, like you're with your team from the minute you get there, you practice, you practice, you practice. You get your wristbands, you get your shirt. All right, guys, practice, practice, practice. All right, go get something to eat. Come back at this time, ready and dressed, and we're gonna practice more and all that shit. But then with Liz, it's like, all right, guys, go do whatever you guys want. So Urban Street Jam 2016 was part of the first one, and I believe at that same Urban Street Jam is the first time I ever saw who King Charles was, and his footwork like blew my mind. You
Mm,
know, King Charles is something
King
else.
Charles. Yeah. So well, that was with Liz, right? The
That
in
was a
being in
list.
the
That
okay.
was a
That
Labon.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's the
I
thing
think that was Labon.
with competition crews. Like when you're there at a competition, you're there all day practicing. And I was like, it made sense for me, like because I still did it in high school. Competed like we'd be there hella early, fucking like probably 7 in the morning, practicing all day, and then fucking compete and leave or wait for awards. So that carried on over to the competitive scene in college or the competitive community. But you experience something different when you're in exhibition,
Mm.
and it begs the questions like, why can't we just be this effective, even as a competitive crew? Because here's what I think, and I think I learned this from Floyd Mayweather too. Like, if you're still having to practice the day of, then you're not really ready.
You know what? That's dope. I actually got one from Devious. He was talking to us about like the difference between being worried, was it nervous and excited,
Mm,
and in reality, he was talking about how like they're both emotions.
they're both the same
Um,
energies.
they're both the same energy, right? The only difference is the preparedness level, right? If you're prepared for something, you're gonna be excited. There's been times when I've done performances and I knew I was gonna just like, oh, all right, I'm excited, excited. And then I've had performances where it's like I'm sweating. I'm like, shit, are we gonna do this? Is this gonna happen? Like, what if this happens? And something. It was because I obviously wasn't ready. And but I feel like exhibition and competing would be two different things. Because I mean, exhibition is easy. You come in and you're not really being judged.
Yeah,
You spend time rehearsing and all that stuff, but in the end, it's completely a lot of fun, right? But then competing, like I've seen people at these competitions, like they're holding hands together and they're just like listen to the results, and as soon as they hear it's not their name, like just boom, just defeat and everything,
yep,
like, and
I've
their
seen
hands are
that.
like, and I mean that's a big difference. I feel like some exhibition teams you can practice for like a couple rehearsals, a couple hours here, and then you're good to
Yeah,
go.
you can get away with
Com-
it. Yeah,
Competition teams be putting hours and hours and hours and hours in it. So obviously, yeah, it is a different,
yeah.
completely different.
It's definitely different in approach. Because I also think, I don't know. Sometimes I think it's sometimes overkill with how some teams do it. I don't know. Like one of the teams, a lot of the teams I know used to like, especially Hell Weeks, they would go from like 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning
That
for a week.
that is insane. That
So
is
like,
insane.
albeit they win, but as I got older, it's like, it's not just the physical preparedness of the doing the routine; it's also the mental preparedness, like self care, because you're practicing that much. You're probably and if you're exhausted, you're more likely to get injured from rehearsals. So it's like,
Nine to
huh?
9 to 6 a.m. Let's see, 10, 11, 12. and then that's like 9 hours. Yeah, like some people don't even do shifts for nine
Yeah,
hours.
like dude, like when I was in
That's
high
crazy.
when I was in high school, rehearsals would be like from 6 a.m. till school started, and then after that 3 a.m. till 3 p.m. till 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sorry, and then Saturdays would be rehearsals from 8 to 8.
And obviously,
So like
it shows, and yeah, the practice it shows, but man, I don't know. I always felt like after at least 4 hours, 5 hours, majority of the stuff is just in one ear and out the other because everyone's just like
mentally,
tired and
yeah,
fatigued, and they just
diminishing returns.
yeah.
Like
And I feel like after that, whatever you do past the 4 hours, you might definitely have to come back to it the next rehearsal.
yeah, so it's definitely something that I've noticed with the dance competitive community. And who knows? I mean, it helps them win, but at what cost? You know, at the cost of some people like being at the cost of what doing well at school or their job or whatever it is. They're in sleep because I know some people are so exhausted they have a hard time driving home. So it's like this the yeah. So these are things that people need to take. Directors I think needed to take into consideration, which is why I'm like so intentional with all our rehearsals. Like, which is why sometimes we even finish early. It was like if I'm done, we're done. Like I'm not gonna force the issue on something I'm not prepared for. Like for when you started